Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? This is Irony Boxing coming in with my sixth live thus far. First and foremost, God bless everyone. Okay, hope you're having a great day, afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be. Um, we are going to be talking about this thing called boxing. Um, a couple of topics here. Let's see. Okay, so we are up. So if you know, you know, right? We're working our way to a top 100 fights that are must-see fights. Hmm? We are up to a total of 60 now. Okay, you know what? I think we're gonna put like 150 or 200 or maybe even more because it's just too many fights that people need to watch. Okay. Um, so I mean, we're also going to be talking about the most underwhelming press conference ever between Tank Davis and Jake Paul in their not so highly anticipated match, right? Um, press tour started today, I believe, like I don't know, 4 or 5 hours ago it was or something. Um, it was, I mean, I didn't like it. I mean, what's there to like, right? I mean, Jake Paul says I'm going to outbox him. Yeah, sure. And first or second question of the presser was, why Jake Paul and not Lamont Roach? I swear to you, I was like, damn. They asked him that right off the bat. Props to the dude in the middle. Um, and Tank Davis gave the most on how do I put this? Like the most boring non-answer ever. Like he was like and then and then and then basically I don't want to get too much into that or whatever the case may be. I was like, okay, bro, like okay. Um, to be clear, I'm not a fan of Tagan Davis. I don't dislike him either. I don't mind him. I do respect him. I respect what he's done, how he's done it. As far as his performances in the ring, the Shakur Stevenson fight has to happen. Period. Um, does he care for it? I don't think so. I don't believe so. Um, I think he's made it pretty clear. He's in this for money, and props to him. Props to you, bro. Like in any event, you're doing this to secure you and your family. So you can only respect that. You can disagree with it, but you need to respect that. Okay. Even the face off was whack, in my opinion, because Jake Paul sticking the fist right in his face and Tank like, like it was like you couldn't wait to get out of there. It's basically what I got from that whole thing. Um, Nevertheless, there we go. And I have remember the Pro Box card coming up on the 27th, right? We're gonna have Naji Lopez in the main event. It was supposed to be Nicholas Floss versus Pete Dobson. Pete Dobson had to pull out because I believe was a nasty cut in sparring, right? So Nicholas Floss no scrapped from the main event. Naji Lopez elevated to the main event spot. Um, Definitely rooting for my boy, Mr. Naji. Okay. But Nicolas Flaus, I was told today with by local streamer that he is fighting on November 7 against Tiger Johnson. Interesting fight. This one, interesting fight. Um, I understand that Nicolas Flaus has a rivalry brewing with Rohan Polanco from Dominican Republic. Okay. um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Tiger Johnson is no easy fight whatsoever. I remember, I think he just came out of a win against Janelson Bocachica. Okay, um, so definitely looking forward to that one. Uh, what else we got here? Okay, I wanted to also discuss some of the um, upcoming fight, October 11. A couple of weeks from today, it is Mr. Jaron Boots Ennis versus Mr. Uisma Lima. Okay, will be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, and this is going to be on the zone. Hmm? It's going to be at the Wells Fargo Center, Saturday, October 11 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm interested to see one of my favorite fighters today, Jaron Boots Ennis, see how he acclimates to this new division that he is in, which is 154-pound junior middleweights, what is widely considered to be the toughest and most competitive division in boxing today. And I do not disagree. Okay. All right. On the undercard is kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie. We have Mr. Khalil Cole going up against Mr. Jesse Hart. Okay, that will be very interesting fight. In my opinion, Khalil Cole just got past Manuel Gallegos. Okay, he had a setback against him. Took an L and then came back um, and got the W in dominant fashion. Okay. Um, Also, how could I not say, right? We have my boy Guido Vianello, okay, Italian stallion, okay, going up against Alexis Barrier, okay. Um, Guido Vianello, I understand the Richard Torres fight. I understand it. Um, we don't need to look too deep into that, do we? I'd rather focus more on his performance against Arslan Bek Makhmudov and also Efe El Jefe Ajakba. I call him El Jefe because he fights like a Jefe, Ajakba. Okay, very good fighter. Speaking of which, I do want to see Bakoli and Ajakba run it back. That was a draw, interesting fight. I enjoyed the fight personally, and I did agree with the draw. Okay, that was my assessment. I've seen that fight like 5 or 6 times probably. Thoroughly enjoyed the fight. Like them both. I like me some Martin Bakoli. I like me some Efe El Jefe Ajakba. I call Martin Bakoli the head honcho from the Congo. I understand the Parker fight, but come on, that was like in a 5-hour notice. um, because Dubois pulled out, remember? So, nevertheless, here we are. So that is going to be interesting card to follow up. Okay. Let's see. Okay, go. What else we got here? Um, one second. Schedule. Okay, so just full disclosure, right? We have Naji Lopez versus Calvin Henderson coming up on Pro Box this Saturday, the 27th. We also have Juanma Lopez's son. They call him Juanmita. Okay, interesting. We also have Emiliano Moreno versus Raul Garcia. Okay. All right, Juanmita Lopez. I saw him train at a gym here in Caguas. Okay. Okay. Go. Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the like I said, that Tank Davis and um, Jake Paul. I mean, it is what it is, right? I guess we should say that. All right. So what else we got? Okay. So this is interesting. We have the return of Eimantas Stanionis. Okay, he is returning from his loss versus Jaron Boots Ennis. Okay, he will fight Jabulani Mackenzie, and this will take place Saturday, September 27, this Saturday over in Lithuania. Okay, Mr. Stanionis' hometown. I mean, home country. Okay, so Wednesday, October 1st, this will take place in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm happy for that. Shout out to my Nigerian and African brothers and sisters. Major shout out to y'all. We have Marcus Brown, former champion, over in 175. Remember that fight with Badu Jack and Arthur Beterbiev, both bloody as hell, against Brandon Glanton. I think Brandon Glanton is the last opponent of Chris Billiam-Smith, if I'm not mistaken. At least I do know that he was his first opponent after Chris Billiam-Smith was coming up from the zurdo Gilberto Ramirez's loss. Okay. Um, Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, it says 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, yeah, I guess it's like a 6 or 7 hour difference between over here in the West and them. Okay, let's see. Got some names here. Okay, so we have October 11 as well. Okay, so this is interesting. We have two interesting fights on October 11. I just went into the Jaron Ennis card. That's going to be in Philadelphia at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we also have in the UK, in Sheffield, more specifically, we have Mr. Dave Allen, who just came off of the Johnny Fisher victory, vindication, rather, I should say. And he will be fighting Arslanbek Makhmudov, okay, at Utilita Arena in Sheffield, okay. We also have Junaid Boston versus Bilal Fawaz, and my guy, Mr. Josh Badley versus Reese Bellotti. Some of the fights on the undercard. Definitely rooting for my boy Josh Badley and Mr. Dave Allen as well. Okay. Okay. This is like again October 11. So it's 3 weeks from today. I'm sorry, in about 3 weeks, I should say. Okay, so we have coming up just a week after that, October 18, in Brooklyn, New York. What is assumed to be Danny Swift Garcia's last fight versus Mr. Daniel Gonzalez. This will be at the Barclays Center in New York. Okay, Brooklyn, New York. Definitely pulling for my boy, Mr. Swift, Danny Swift Garcia. Okay. All right. Okay, look at that. So we have a card. This is interesting. Hang on a second. Well, I should say first and foremost on October 25th, we have Mr. Ryan Rosicki from Canada, Canadian powerhouse over at 185 cruiserweight versus Akani Futsi. This will be in Sydney, Canada. Okay, airing at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, our time. Definitely looking forward to that one, but obviously we have Sebastian Fundora, aka the Giraffe Man, versus Keith One Time Thurman. Keith one time fell off the stage, Thurman. I mean, I'm okay. So this is a tough one, right? Because I want to pull for Thurman. I want to, but everything else is just says Fundora. You know. You know what? Screw it. I'm going with Thurman. I am. I'm gonna drop the link now if anybody wants to come up and say anything for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 100 minutes, doesn't matter. Okay, so we are It's an interesting card to say the least. The one with Fundora and Thurman, that's again on October 25th in Amazon Prime in Las Vegas, Nevada. The co-main event of the evening is Mr. Oshaki Foster versus Mr. Cool Boy Stephen Fulton. Okay. This could be uh, you know what? It's interesting because I can see a fight of the year contender. I just hope that it doesn't turn into a stinker where they both cancel each other out because they're both very good and technical boxers. I feel like Mr. Fulton has the edge on the power department. Okay. Um, Nevertheless, it is a pure, what I call a pure 50-50 fight. Okay. All right. We have Jesus Ramos Jr. versus Shane Mosley Jr. Interesting fight. And Isaac Lucero versus Roberto Valenzuela Jr. Okay. All right. Okay. So where was I? Oh yeah, Fundora and Thurman. Okay, we had this whole thing now. Same day, but over across the pond. Okay. Oh, and that starts. It says here 12 a.m. Eastern time. Damn. Well, anyway, at 1 p.m. that same day, but across the pond over in London, UK, we have Joe Parker versus Fabio Wardley. Interesting fight, heavyweight to say the least. I feel bad for Joe Parker. He's been screwed more than once. Uh, Gotta get through this one, buddy. It should be Usyk or Ajit Caballero. I know this. Um, but nevertheless, I have Parker dominating the fight. Um, Gotta watch out for Fabio Wardley. You know, definitely gotta watch out for that. But okay. Interesting fight though. I'll definitely watch. Um, so interesting. Here we have the next day on October 26th. We have so the other two champions over at the strawweight or minimum weight, whatever you want to call it, is 105 pounds. Are fighting 3 days apart from each other, right? We have Mr. Pedro Taturan from Philippines fighting Christian Balunan. That is going to take place in Manila, Philippines at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? And 3 days after that, which is Wednesday, October 29, same day, same time, 12 a.m. Eastern Time, will be the other champion, Mr. Melvin Jerusalem. Actually, let's get technical here. So Melvin Jerusalem is the WBC champion, and Pedro Tarudan is the IBF champion. Okay, so anyway, we have Mr. Melvin Jerusalem versus Mr. Siakoa Kuse, and this will take place in Quezon City, Philippines. Okay, looking forward to that one as well, for sure. October 30 on a Thursday. Damn. We have Mary Spencer versus Michaela Mayer. Interesting card here. We have Mr. Arthur Villarslano versus Sergey Lipinets. Man, how about Sergey Lipinets, bro? Still hanging around, bro. Um, you know, man. God bless him. We have Comain Wilkins Mathieu versus Shaquille Finn, and also Mehmed Nadir Unal versus Rolf Vilkans. Excuse me. This will be at Montreal, Canada, punchinggrace.com. Okay, 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Interesting. Interesting. Boxing is on fire. Never get tired of saying it. November 1st, Saturday, November 1st, we have Mr. Joshua Buatsi returning versus Sark Parker. Let's see if Buatsi can still, be a force to be reckoned with over at 168. Or is that 75 or 6? No, that's 75. I'm sorry. 175 against Sark Parker. Co-main event, we have Bradley Rhea versus Lyndon Arthur. How about Lyndon Arthur, man? Still hanging around. Unbelievable. And we have Daniel Lappin. I believe he trains with Alexander Usyk versus Troy Jones. This will be on the Zone, November 1st, 2025, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over at Manchester, UK. Mm. Saturday, November 1st, same day, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over in Orlando, Florida. We have Lenier Perot versus Jordan Thompson. Mm. Um, go. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Give me 1 second, okay? 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So we have, oh, of course, Saturday, November 9. I'm sorry, Saturday, November 8th. We have Mr. Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Erickson Lubin. I got Lubin for the monumental upset. Yes, sir, I do. As I've said before many times, Mr. Virgil Ortiz, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Um, Nevertheless, I respect him. Obviously, how can you not, right? Like that fight against Boachuk, whatever you feel about the outcome of the fight, amazing fight, amazing fight. So that's one thing. Like if you give me an unforgettable fight, I'll give you all the benefit of the doubt in the world, even if I don't like you. Okay, real talk. Um, Give me just a minute here. Okay. Okay, thank you for holding. There we go. So interesting because okay, we have the main event, right? Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Erickson Lubin, but we have now the co-main being Floyd Kid Austin Schofield versus Joseph Jojo Diaz Jr. I got Kid Austin on that one. I will say it's interesting enough, but I think Kid Austin is just gonna be too much um, for for Mr. Jojo Diaz here. Okay. We also have Darius Fulgham, fresh off the fight against Beck the Bully, right? Versus David Stevens, and we have Joshua Edwards versus Zeno Boris. Okay. This will be Saturday, November 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over in Fort Worth, Texas. You can watch us in the Zone. Okay. Obviously, Tank Davis and Jake Pauls, November 14, Miami, Florida, whatever the case may be. Okay, here we go. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn 2. See, now we're talking. Now we're talking. I got Eubank Jr. to be honest with you, not just because I don't like Conor Benn, not just because of that, right? Um, I just feel like Conor Benn's. I get it. Like it has to happen now because they're not like 2 or 3 years apart, right? They have like a 7 year difference between the two of them, or 8 year difference. So Eubank Jr. is definitely getting up there. So if you're gonna get a trilogy out of this thing and just milk this cow, it's gotta happen back to back to back, and that's what they're doing. The first press conference um, was pretty good. Was the opposite of what Tank Davis and Jake Paul was. Hmm? Um, Chris Eubank Jr. I don't know if he's gonna get in trouble for this. He might just get in trouble because he went on a rant, shall we say, about Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and he said something about like he was in an ambulance and it was blocked. And they were back and forth, bro. Those two, yeah, those two have as much as how do I say this? Those two are as likely as to be friends as Canelo and Oscar are. Okay. Now I'm gonna stop right there because the November card, the 22nd, and then the Naoya Inoue card. I mean, we can get into those a little later, right? Like it's uh, well over a month apart from each way, so a lot of things can happen from now and then. I'm just praying to the boxing gods. No injury, no pulling out, nothing. No, nothing. Please. Okay. Um, Now let me take a few minutes here. I'll be right back. And we are going to get into the rundown of the 60 must-see fights that we have thus far. And I don't have a group of 20, I have a group of 12. I'm still working on the next 20, okay? I'll give you those 12. I'll be right back. Okay, thank you very much for patience. Go. So I'm going to start by doing the rundown of the first group of 20, then the second one, then the third one, and I'm going to get into the 12 fights that I have thus far, which will round up a total of 72, right? Um, okay. Like I said before, like I put in here top 100, but it's eventually going to be, you know, um, 150, 200. Surely it's going to be more than that. Surely. Nevertheless, here we go. The first group of 20, we start off with Marvelous Marvin Hagler versus Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Okay. Um, we follow that up by Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward. The first one, feel free to watch the whole trilogy, but the first one is unforgettable fight. Following that up with Eric El Terrible Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera. The first one, again, same thing. Feel free to watch the whole thing, the whole trilogy, but the first one was unforgettable fight. We follow that up by Mr. Riddick Big Daddy Bo versus Evander the Real Deal Holyfield. The first one, again, same thing. Same thing. Feel free to watch the whole thing, the whole trilogy. It is worth it, but the first one is unforgettable fight. We follow that up by Tim Desert Storm Bradley versus Ruslan Siberian Rocky Provodnikov. Um, we follow that up by my favorite heavyweight of all time. God bless him, rest in peace. Mr. Big George Foreman versus Ron Lyle. Good God, what a fight this was! Oh my goodness. Thank you for this fight to both gentlemen. I wouldn't have mind seeing a second one, but nevertheless, unforgettable fight, unbelievable fight. This one. We have Diego Chico. Oh, we follow that up by Diego Chico Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. Unforgettable fight, 12th round. Unforgettable. What happened on the 12th round? Please go and watch that. Follow that up by Mr. Julio Cesar Chavez versus Mr. Meldrick Taylor. What a fight. Goodness. Tragic fight, tragic ending. Amazing fight, though. Please watch. Follow up with Mr. James Lights Out Tony versus Vasily Girov. Unbelievable fight. Unbelievable fight. I've seen this fight more times than I can count. Please watch. After this one, we have a fight that is, it doesn't even make sense what happens in it. People need to watch this fight. It's not a high profile fight. Okay, it's not. It is Orlando El City Salido versus Terzak Koketjim. Okay. Um, Please watch this fight. I'll put it in the chat right now. Okay. Let me show this. There it is. Orlando El City Salido versus Terzak Koketjim. Please, please, pretty please, with sugar on top, watch this fight. Please. And get back to me. Thank you. Okay. We follow that up with Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi. I believe this took place last year towards the end, or maybe it was at the beginning of this year. Cannot remember. Unbelievable fight. Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi. Follow that up by two fights, which to me are just a beauty to watch because of the competitiveness and the high level of them both. And that's Dimitri Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev 1 and 2. Please let me have the third one without Beterbiev being on a walker. Okay, please. Thank you. We follow those up with Irish Mickey Ward versus Emmanuel, the Drunken Master Augustus. Good God, what a fight this was. Okay? They took like 10 years of each other's life. We follow that up by a great performance by Roberto Hands of Stone Duran, albeit in a losing effort, versus the marvelous one, Marvin Hagler. Please watch that fight. We follow that up by Alexis Arguello versus Aaron Pryor. Two great fights, high-level fights, where the two best guys meet each other at the right time. Okay. And to round up the first group of 20, we have the Rafael Marquez versus Israel Vasquez. God bless Israel Vasquez. We lost him recently as well. The whole trilogy on this one. Watch the whole trilogy. Okay, so that rounds up our our first group of 20. We're about to get into the second group of 20. Once again, this is in no particular order. Once we get to 100 or whatever the case may be, we will do open panels so that we can discuss, order those. And, I haven't seen that one. I don't know. That's fine. This one should be higher, whatever the case may be. I'm actually looking forward to it. Okay, so let's go to the second group of 20. Number one is, to me, the greatest upset of all time. That's Mr. Muhammad Ali versus Mr. Big George Foreman. Must watch fight. Follow that up by Iron Mike Tyson versus James Buster Douglas, which is widely considered to be the greatest upset of all time, and I am not mad at it. Follow that up by a very high-level fight, in my opinion, which is James Lights Out Tony versus Mr. Captain Hook himself, Roy Jones Jr. We follow that up by another very high level fight, scoring nightmare. Mr. Devin the Dream Haney versus Vasily High Tech Matrix Lomachenko. Okay. Um, we follow that up by two fights. As we did on the first group, we had Bivol and Beterbiev both fights. This one the same. We have Oscar De La Hoya versus Sugar Shane Mosley 1 and 2. Very high level fight, scoring nightmares. They went to Mosley. I thought Oscar won them both. You can feel free to disagree. It was that competitive and that close. Okay, absolutely must-watch fights. Um, then we have a genuine firefight that ended up in a nasty. It were multiple knockdowns, but it ended in a nasty knockout. Jose Cepeda versus Ivan Baranchik. Okay, we follow that up by a very high level, entertaining fight, which was recommended by my boy Puro Sur, and that is Pernell Sweet P. Whitaker versus Jorge El Mero Mero El Maromero Paez. Okay, Pernell Whitaker versus Jorge Paez. Please watch that one. Paez suffered a bad cut. It took its effect, but nevertheless, it was a great fight. Okay, we follow that up by the Gypsy King, Mr. Tyson Fury versus the Bronze Bomber, Mr. Deontay Wilder 3. Now, you can watch the trilogy. Of course, you can. However, I mean, the first one was good, like I said before. The second one was pretty one sided. But the third one was an absolutely unforgettable fight. They took like 20 years of each other's life. This is required watching right here. Fury Wilder 3. It probably makes the top 10 when it's said and done, but who knows? We'll see. It's a lot of fights here. Following that up with what to me, this is a personal choice of mine, what to me was Sergio Martinez's best performance of his career against Sergey Zinziruk. Okay, Sergey Zinziruk came into the fight undefeated, never been on the canvas as an amateur or as a pro. That certainly changed. I'll just leave it at that. We followed that up by Sugar Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta 6. We followed that up by a recent fight. I was so proud of my boy. It was Eduardo Sugar Nunez versus Christopher Pitufo Diaz from Puerto Rico. I love me some Pitufo Diaz. He went over to Los Mochis, Sinaloa, over in Mexico, and fought his heart out against Sugar Nunez. Came up short, but gained the respect of his opponent and everybody in the arena. It was beautiful to watch. Major props to Christopher Pitufo Diaz. God bless you, buddy. And the same for Eduardo Sugar Nunez. Absolutely. We follow that up by one of my favorite fights in recent times, which is Mr. Oshaki Foster versus Rocky Hernandez. Unbelievable fight, unbelievable round of the year, I believe it was. I think it was the last round, I'm not sure, but unbelievable fight. Okay. We follow that up by Felix Tito Trinidad, the one and only, versus Oscar De La Hoya. Awesome fight. We follow that up with Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Corte. Unbelievable fight, high level, scoring nightmare. We should have seen the second one. We should have seen the second one. The same with Trinidad and Oscar. Same with a bunch of them, to be honest with you. Okay, we follow that up by Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran, the first one. Probably the best performance is Roberto Duran's career, even though I'm sure that's debatable. People are going to say Ken Buchanan or Ron Barkley. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. There are. We have followed that up with two fights of one of my favorite fighters, and that's the Prado Whales, the Italian Dragon, Mr. Joe Calzaghe versus Jeff Lacey. One of the best performances that you will see in the ring. The greatest performances of Joe Calzaghe's storied career, and it's not even close. We follow that up by Joe Calzaghe versus Bernard Hopkins. High level fight, chess match with an absolute scoring nightmare. We follow that up by a heavyweight firefight, super entertaining fight with Michael Moorer versus Bert Cooper. Okay. And to round up the second group of 20, we have Lee Wood versus Michael Conlan. Okay. All right, we're up to 40 now. Let's get to the third group of 20 to get to 60, and then we can get to the 12 that we have, okay? We have what in my opinion is the best performance of Marvelous Marvin Hagler's career versus John the Beast Mugabe, okay? Unbelievable performance, unbelievable. We followed that up by two fights with Brandon Rios and Mike Alvarado, two entertaining fights, wars back and forth. We followed that up with Francisco Vargas versus Takeshi Miura. Unbelievable fight, multiple knockdowns. I think Vargas ended up stopping Miura, but it was a great, great fight. We follow that up by one of the best performances in Sugar Ray Leonard's career, in my opinion, and that's the fight with Donnie Lalonde. Okay, this fight with Donnie Lalonde. A must watch. Leonard survives a knockdown. Donnie Lalonde was no joke. No joke whatsoever. Okay. Okay. After that, we have a personal pick, one of my favorite fights to watch, which is Keith One Time Thurman versus Showtime Sean Porter. Definitely should have gotten a second one out of this one. We never got it. Porter's now retired. Thurman's still in the picture. Obviously, he's fighting Fundora for a belt now. All the best to him. Very entertaining fight, back and forth. Unbelievable fight, this one. Unbelievable. We are following that up with an ungodly fight, an absolute war between Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Angel Tashiro Fierro. Wow, what a fight this was, man. They took like 30 years of each other's life, to be honest with you. Please go and watch this if you haven't. Oh, man. Make sure you don't have a full stomach, though. Okay, we follow that up with Mr. Oh, wow. This is two fights, unforgettable fights. This is Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns. Wow. Just wow. That's all I gotta say. Go. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay. So we're up to Leonard Hearns. Okay, we followed that up by a very good fight. Multiple knockdowns. I think it ended up with a stoppage with Prince Nassim Hamed versus Kevin Kelly. Okay, unbelievable fight, this one. Very good fight. Let's see. Okay, so we're following that up by a very high level set chess match, the highest of the levels, between Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred El Radar Benitez, who to me, as I've said before, to me, he is the best fighter ever to come out of Puerto Rico. Okay, the best boxer ever to come out of Puerto Rico. To me, as I've said many times, it's Wilfred El Radar Benitez. Okay. Okay, so we have following that up by two unbelievably brutal fights between Alexis Arguello and Alfredo El Salcero Escalera. Okay, brutal, bloody fights, unforgettable fights. We're following this up with Juan Manuel Dinamita Marquez versus Marco Antonio Barrera. We follow this up by Anthony AJ Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. We follow that up by Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Serhii Boachuk. We follow this up with a glorious fight, which is Sugar Shane Mosley versus Antonio, Mr. I Got Cast in My Hands, Margarito himself. We follow this up by God bless him and rest in peace, Mr. Dwight Muhammad Kawi, otherwise known as the Camden Buzzsaw, versus Evander, the real deal Holyfield, the first one. What a fight. Um, we follow that up with a heavyweight war with multiple knockdowns in Razor Ruddock, Donovan Razor Ruddock versus the Duke Tommy Morrison. Must watch. And to round up the group of 60 is a fight that damn near gave me a stroke. Miguel Junito Cotto versus Ricardo El Pochuelo Torres. Good God Almighty. Ricardo Torres scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. Oh, man. So that is up to 60 now. 6-0. So now we're going to the new list. I haven't gotten to 20 yet, sadly, but I will in the next time tomorrow. For now, this is the 12 fights that I have. First one is Mr. David Tua versus Ike Ibeabuchi, a heavyweight back and forth war. Ibeabuchi, I think, ended up having the decision at the end. I still can't believe they made it to a decision, but nevertheless. The second one is a fight that I need to rewatch, which is a recommendation by my beloved sister, Miss Shawa Laya, which is James Lights Out Tony versus Dave Tiberi. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me put it on the chat here just in case anybody's interested. My brother Cass from Cass Sports the Boxtorian, please subscribe to his channel right now, if you will. Told me that this fight opened up a congressional investigation into boxing. Okay, here it is. James Toney versus Dave Tiberi. Recommendation from my beloved sister Shawala Ja. Okay. We follow this up with our third one in the list of 12, which is Ray Boom Mancini versus Doku Kim. This is an all-time great fight, must watch. I'm going to rewatch it again and give you my full assessment once I have. We follow this up with a tough fight. A ton of people thought that it wasn't a rightful outcome. Okay, and that is Ricardo El Finito Lopez versus Rosendo Alvarez. This fight ended up in a draw. They fought each other 2 times. First one draw, second one was split decision for Mr. Lopez. I've heard a lot of people in Mexico say that the wrong man got the decision. It should have been Rosendo Alvarez. And Finito Lopez is Mexican, Rosendo Alvarez is from Nicaragua. Okay. We follow this up with Rocky Marciano versus Roland Lastarza. Actually, you know what? I'll say watch both fights because here's the thing, right? Roland Lastarza was the next big thing as far as the Italian American community goes with boxing, which back then was a major player. Now, not so much. Unfortunately, we still got some people, but back then we were, one of the top dogs. Anyway, Rocky Marciano versus Rolando Starza. The first one was a split decision for Rocky, the Brockton Blockbuster, the Rock of his times, Marciano. And the second one, Rolando Starza, got battered. He got beat up and battered, and he was never the same after that. So major props to one of my favorite fighters of all time, Mr. Rocky Marciano. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's 13 because it's the 2 fights of Marciano and Lastarza. Yeah, it's not 12, it's 13. Nevertheless, we follow that up with a back in the day fight with the Manassa Moller, Jack Dempsey versus Luis Angel Firpo from Argentina. Tough ass fight. Firpo knocked Dempsey out of the ring. Eventually, Dempsey stopped him, but definitely worth taking a look at it. Okay, we follow that up with a lightweight war between who, in my opinion, is the greatest lightweight of all time. We can revisit this conversation at any time, which is Roberto Hands of Stone Duran versus Ken Buchanan. Good God, what a fight this was! What an entertaining fight! What a joy to watch. Um, because Duran was damn near yeah, he has a loss to Esteban de Jesus, but he beat him twice after that, so he's 2-1 against him. So and Ken Buchanan fought his heart out, bro. Ken Buchanan is a stud, man. He is. He's from Scotland, I believe, so major props to him, and shout out to my Scottish brothers and sisters for sure. Okay. We follow that up by another recommendation of a friend of mine, which is Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. Got dicey for a second, Mr. Floyd. It got dicey for a second there. That's all I'm gonna say, Mr. Floyd. But nevertheless, pulled it up, pulled it off, and DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley is one of those, bro. Like he's probably not a legend or anything, but he was a tough out for anybody, bro. He gave Cotto issues. He gave Floyd Mayweather issues. Real dude right there, Mr. Chop Chop Corley. Okay. We follow that up by another recommendation of another friend of mine, which is Charlo versus Brian Castaño 2. Okay. Number 11 now would be a fight which is a must watch. It doesn't make sense how this man pulled it off. It doesn't. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me show James Toney versus Dave Tiberi. See that right there on the screen? There are the names. Okay. So this fight, I'm going to put it on the chat, which is Yvonne Durrell versus Archie Moore, the first one. This doesn't make sense, people. Archie Moore took he was getting his ass whooped by Mr. Durrell. And oh my goodness, just watch it. Just do me a solid one here and just watch it. And get back to me, obviously. Anyway, thank you. Okay, what else we got? There we go. Let me hide the comment. Okay. So we got two more to go. Oh, wow. Number 12 is shout out to my Mexico brothers and sisters for sure. It's Lupe Pintor versus Wilfredo Bazooka Gomez. Mexico and Puerto Rico war. What do you expect? Never, ever, ever disappoints. Okay. Absolute war. It got dicey to say the least for Mr. Gomez, but he was able to pull it off. So, wow, what a fight this was, bro. And to round up our group of 13, we got 7 more. Excuse me. I'm sorry. We got 7 more to go to round up our 4th group of 20 and get to 80. But it is Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin, Mr. Larry Holmes, my second favorite heavyweight of all time behind Foreman, versus Ernie Shavers. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an unbelievable fight because if you don't know, Ernie Shavers is one of the most feared punchers in heavyweight boxing history. Okay, in the entire history. And Larry Holmes, man, just boxed beautifully. He had to take some shots. He was able to weather the storm more than once and pulled it off. My guy, Larry Holmes. That's my guy right there. Okay, so we're up to a total of 73 fights. Definitely looking into some fights from back in the day. I got to look at Graziano and Tony Zale, Sandy Sadler versus Willie Pep. I mean, you name it. I got to look into those. Come on. Yeah. Oh, the Bobby Chacon and Bazooka Limon fights. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be coming up with those shortly. Um, okay, so that's that, right? I mean, we went over some news. We talked a little about the Tank Davis and Jake Paul. Um, some upcoming fights that we're looking up forward to. Again, the November card, ring card, and the Inoue card. I'll be getting into those later on. I'll say next month, or maybe a little later than that. We'll see. We shall see. In the meantime, okay, let me put up the link again just to see if anybody wants to hop in and say whatever they want to say. There it is. You don't have to show your face. If you don't know anything about boxing, ask me. That's okay. I wasn't born with the knowledge, and it's not like I know everything either. It's far, far from it. Okay. Um, so go ahead. Don't be shy. See, I don't even show my face, so you don't have to see my ugly face. Um, so you don't need to show your face. If you can only say hi, how you doing, and then I'm out. Go ahead and say hi, how you doing, and then I'm out. I don't mind it. That's a promise. I'm gonna mute myself for a second. I'll be right back. All right, thank you for holding. Okay, so all right, I guess I'll just wrap it up, right? Um, doesn't seem like anybody's here. That's perfectly fine. Um, Nevertheless, I do have work to do. I gotta get up to 80. Okay, and then work my way to the eventual 100. Uh, there we go. All right. Well, God bless you all. This was my sixth live. This is Irony Boxing. Um, I will be on live tomorrow. I'm guessing late at night, but we shall see. Okay. Um, all right. Well, everybody have a great evening, a great day, a great week, great afternoon, everything. We have the Pro Box card on Saturday to look forward to. So in the meantime, you'll be good, you'll be safe. God bless. See you all next time. Peace.